Lewis Hamilton's best weekend with Ferrari turned into pure chaos after a single decision from the FIA. A 10-second penalty for avoiding contact wiped out his shot at his first Ferrari podium. Hamilton's fury over the radio said it all. That's Bull's man. But what happened next revealed the champion's true strength, focus, control, and pure class under fire. When the lights went out, Hamilton launched perfectly no-wheel spin, no hesitation. He sliced through the chaos with the calm precision that made him a 7-time world champion. Norris to the left, Leclerc to the right, Verstappen looming large in the mirrors, yet Hamilton looked unbothered. He was a master at work, reading the race like a grandmaster reads a chessboard. Into turn 1, Verstappen lunged late, desperate, elbows out. Hamilton gave just enough room, but contact was inevitable. The Ferrari jolted, smoke erupted, and both cars skated wide into the runoff. The crowd gasped. Lewis kept his foot in it, kept it alive, and rejoined ahead. It looked like the kind of heroic save only he could pull off. For a few laps, Ferrari dared to dream. Hamilton was third, comfortably managing the gap. His radio was calm, tires are good, balance is decent. Everything felt under control. Until it wasn't. Race control's announcement dropped like a hammer. Incident involving cars 1 and 44 under investigation. The garage froze. The replay showed what everyone had already seen, a hard racing move, 2 champions fighting for space. No foul, no advantage, just Formula One at its best. But the stewards didn't see it that way. Minutes later, the call came through. Car 44, 10-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. The words echoed through the Ferrari garage like thunder. The engineers looked at each other in disbelief. Vasseur slammed his headset on the table. He gave the position back in the corner. How's that an advantage? Hamilton's response on the radio was immediate, sharp, controlled, but full of restrained fury. That's ridiculous. He pushed me off. You saw it. For fans watching around the world, the flashbacks were instant, the same inconsistencies, the same déjà vu from years past. But Hamilton isn't built like most drivers. He doesn't crumble under chaos, he calibrates. Within seconds, the frustration turned into calculation. Okay, he said over the radio. What's the target? How do we minimize it? No shouting, no defeat, just a plan. That's the mark of a true champion, emotion tempered by logic. He began to push, building a gap over the cars behind, sector by sector, with the kind of controlled aggression that only he possesses. We'll make those 10 seconds irrelevant, he muttered to his engineer. It wasn't arrogance, it was belief. The message came through on lap 7, just as Hamilton had settled into rhythm. Car 44, 10-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. For a few seconds, there was silence on the radio. No reply, just the faint hum of the Ferrari SF-25 screaming down the straight, and then his voice. Calm but cold. You've got to be kidding me. It wasn't anger. It was disbelief. The same disbelief that comes from knowing the system got it wrong again. In the Ferrari garage, chaos erupted. Engineers leaned over screens, rewinding the telemetry feed. Fred Vasseur, usually composed, ripped off his headset. 10 seconds. For that, he avoided a collision. The data told the truth. Hamilton had lifted off through turn 4 to rejoin safely, losing speed in the process. There was no advantage gained, no time made up. But none of it mattered. The steward's ruling was final. Verstappen, who'd gone off-track twice during the same sequence, got nothing. No warning, no penalty. Just racing, apparently. Hamilton's race engineer, Riccardo Adami, came over the radio again. Lewis, penalty confirmed 10 seconds. Let's stay focused. Hamilton paused for a moment before answering. Copy. Tell me what I need to do. That's Lewis Hamilton distilled into 6 words. No tantrum, no defeat, just a champion recalibrating in real time. The difference between emotion and control is what has kept him at the top for over 20 years. From that moment, he changed the way he was driving. He started talking less and doing more. Brake bias forward 2 clicks. Differential tight mid-corner. Tire temps under control. Everything became deliberate. Every lap another line of code and a calculation only he could run. The Ferrari SF-25 wasn't the fastest car in Mexico's thin air. The turbo hybrid struggled. The brakes overheated. The drag was immense. But Hamilton made it dance anyway. Inside the garage, Ferrari strategists couldn't keep up with the data. He's matching Leclerc's pace, and he's on older tires, one engineer whispered. He's managing the rears like nobody else. That's the side of Hamilton the world doesn't always see the engineer inside the racer. He was listening to the car through vibrations, reading its balance through the seat. While others react to problems, he anticipates them. Every time the SF-25 stepped out of line, he adjusted instinctively. He wasn't fighting the car, he was communicating with it. Meanwhile, the frustration around him was building. The FIA decision was dominating every commentary feed. "This is harsh," said Brundle on Sky. "If that's 10 seconds, then what's Verstappen's move?" The fans saw it too, the inconsistency, the politics, the same script playing out again. But inside that cockpit, Hamilton refused to let bitterness win. "All right," he said over the radio. "Let's make those 10 seconds irrelevant." That's when the transformation happened. What started as anger became focus. Lap by lap, he started to claw time back. Purple sectors appeared next to his name. The Ferrari sliced through traffic with efficiency. He was driving not just against the clock, but against judgment itself. He didn't raise his voice, didn't throw blame, he just performed. That's the mark of greatness. While others complain about unfairness, Hamilton rewrites it. When the cameras cut to the Ferrari pit wall, you could see it in their faces, admiration mixed with disbelief. "He's doing what he's always done," Vasseur said quietly, "turning chaos into control." The FIA may have written the penalty, but Hamilton was writing the narrative. Mexico City isn't just another stop on the Formula One calendar. It's a torture test, thin air, scorching heat, and no room for error. The altitude kills power, the lack of oxygen strangles the engines, and the heat cooks the brakes from the inside out. For Ferrari's SF-25, that was a nightmare combination. The car had speed in qualifying, but was fragile in the race. Rear tires overheated, brake cooling struggled, and the energy recovery system hit its limits before the halfway mark. But in Hamilton's hands, the same car became something else entirely. It wasn't perfect, but it was alive. From lap 10 onwards, Hamilton became part driver, part engineer. The team's data streams showed chaos. Rear tire temps peaking at 115 degrees, brake discs glowing orange under braking into turn 1. Yet his radio was calm. "I can manage this," he said, voice steady. He adjusted the brake bias forward by 2 clicks to protect the rear tires, then switched his lift and coast technique to cool the energy system. Every lap, he was solving a new problem and doing it instinctively. Ferrari's race engineer Riccardo Adami later admitted it was like watching someone play chess while running a marathon. Telemetry showed the difference. Where others were losing time in Sector 2, the twisty, high downforce section, Hamilton was faster by tenths. His steering input was minimal, his throttle trace smooth. No lockups, no wasted movement. The car looked light under him, fluid, precise. "He's doing the impossible," said Brundle on commentary. "He's carrying a car on the edge of thermal collapse and still making it look comfortable." It wasn't luck, it was the science of experience. Hamilton has always had an extraordinary sense for balance. He can feel grip through temperature before sensors even show it. That's how he preserves performance when others destroy it. On lap 22, the team told him to box. "We're going plan B, Lewis. Serve the penalty now." His response was short. "Understood." He came in fast, hit his marks perfectly. The Ferrari crew executed the tire change in 2.3 seconds, flawless as ever. Then came the longest 10 seconds of the race, a still, quiet moment that felt like an eternity. The crowd roared, cameras zoomed in, and there he sat, visor down, head straight, not a twitch of frustration. You could feel the weight of it. 10 seconds of punishment for something he didn't deserve, and yet not a single sign of surrender. When the green light flashed, he launched back into the race with the kind of intensity that only true competitors possess. When he rejoined in 14th, most drivers would have cracked. Not Hamilton. His first flying lap after the stop was half a second faster than the car ahead. He overtook Zhou into turn 1 with surgical precision, then breezed past Piastri 3 laps later. "That's Lewis Hamilton doing Lewis Hamilton things," said Croft on commentary. Every overtake was measured, every move perfectly timed. He wasn't just fighting for points, he was fighting for justice. Inside the Ferrari garage, engineers began to notice something extraordinary. Despite the high altitude, Hamilton's tire degradation was lower than Leclerc's. His brake temperatures were more stable. "He's managing the car better than our model predicted," one engineer said, staring at the telemetry screen in disbelief. "He's literally rewriting our data." It wasn't exaggeration, it was science meeting instinct. Hamilton was driving within the car's limits, but at the very edge of human precision. He wasn't wrestling the SF-25, he was coaxing it. That's what separates him from the rest. He doesn't dominate the car, he collaborates with it. By lap 40, the message was clear. Hamilton wasn't done. Despite the altitude, the heat, and the penalty, he was climbing back into the points. His rhythm was relentless. Lap after lap, corner after corner, he was building momentum, each move perfectly timed. When Ferrari updated him, P8 is possible, Lewis, he simply replied, then let's go get it. That's Hamilton in one line, relentless belief wrapped in composure. No drama, no excuses, just execution. From the pit wall, Fred Vasseur couldn't hide his admiration. He's keeping this car alive by feel alone, he said to his engineers. It wasn't just a compliment, it was a statement of awe. Because in Formula One, where technology defines everything, Hamilton proved that human intuition still matters. The FIA could penalize him. The car could fail him. But as long as he was behind the wheel, Ferrari had a fighting chance. And that's why, even after the race, as he climbed out of the cockpit and looked toward the crowd, there was no anger in his eyes, just quiet defiance. The kind that says, you can slow me down, but you'll never stop me.